morning. And welcome back to the channel. It's Richard from Powerlines Power Naps. Well, I was going to go for a walk out and about and tell you a story today, but I'll spin the camera. Rain and wind back again. So I don't mind the rain, but I'm not purposely walking in it. A big thank you to all the new subscribers. We're picking a few numbers up nicely. Thank you very, very much for that. It means a lot to me. Please continue to do so. Tell your friends. Today's story is a true story. But today, because of the weather, it will be coming from here. Coffee corner at Louis' Kitchen. Hi, I'm Richard. Welcome to my channel, From Powerlines to Power Naps. This is my wife, Nui, and together we both left the UK in February 2022 to start and enjoy a new life and new adventures in Phuket, Thailand. Join us on our new journey together and experiences. Sit back and enjoy. So today's story is a true story. It happened to me. Nui briefly touched on it on her interview film the other day when we were talking about the reasons to retire to Thailand. This wasn't a direct reason to retire to Thailand, but let's say it was a moment in life which was a wake-up call, a bit of a shocker, and puts life into perspective. This may be useful if anyone else has experienced this same disease or gets the symptoms. It's a little known, certainly I or none of my friends or family had ever heard of it. If you've had experience with it, or you've had it, or you know someone who's had it, let's talk about it. Put your comments in the comments box. It'd be good to hear from you. So, quick slurp of coffee. And flashback to, I think it was mid-November 2016. I had retired that year from my Powerline career, and later that year I was helping a colleague to do some work in his company. I woke one Sunday morning feeling fine, feeling well, but I'd got a tingling, numb sensation in my fingers. I thought, strange, but then I brushed it off and thought, yeah, maybe I've slept in a bad position. Carried on my day. The following morning, Monday morning, I awoke as normal, again feeling fine, feeling well. I went downstairs and went to put the kettle on, went to fill the kettle, boil it for my coffee. Recap, good morning. Went back for the shower, came back to pour my coffee. Went to lift the kettle to pour my coffee, could not lift the kettle at all. Thought a bit strange, but did the usual manly stupid thing and assisted my right arm with my left arm picked the kettle up, poured my coffee. Later that morning, I was in a mess room making teas and coffees for 5 or 6 people, which I did every morning. And my normal routine was to pick the tray of drinks up with one hand, leaving the other hand free to open the doors back into the office. Guess what? I couldn't pick the tray up. I tried with 2 hands. Could not pick the tray up with 2 hands. Still feeling well. Very strange. So I did again the manly thing. Said bugger all. Took the drinks in one by one, cup at a time. Stupid boy. Lunchtime came and I nipped out of the office down to the local sandwich shop to collect the daily lunch sandwiches for myself and others. Maybe 600-700 metres down to the sandwich shop, and I'm crossing the road and suddenly my right leg, I don't know, did a bit of a John Cleese moment, if you know John Cleese in the Ministry of Silly Walks. My right leg did a bit of an involuntary side movement. Not what I was asking it to do. Strange. Collected the sandwiches. Still conscious of this anomaly from my legs seeming to have their own idea. On returning with the sandwiches, I got halfway back. I had to sit down on the wall. Could not go any more. Could not walk any further. No strength. Not coffee, not wheezy, not out of breath. Just my body wouldn't go. Still feeling well. Sat down. A few minutes, rested. Got up, continued back to the office. That's when I said to my colleagues, something not quite right here. I'm phoning the doctor. So I phoned my doctors, and it's times like this when you really want to hear that you can see your doctor. You build up a relationship with your doctor, and your doctor is your doctor. The receptionist answering my call told her that I needed to see a doctor today, and she said, yes sir, you can see the duty doctor in about 2 hours time. Make your way here. I'm thinking, bugger. The only day I didn't really want to hear you can see a duty doctor. That means he's a temporary doctor, he's a new doctor, he's a stand-in doctor at our practice. I wanted to see my doctor, who I knew, trusted, liked, he knew me. But no, duty doctor. Do you know something? For me, that was the luckiest thing I've probably ever had. Made my way to the doctor's. I drove, still feeling well. And I went to see the duty doctor. What a great guy. And I reckon this guy saved my life. I told him everything that had been going on. My symptoms. And he did a reflex test. When he cross your knee and tap your kneecap with a hammer for the involuntary kick. No kick. He looked at me and he said, you've got no reflex. He quickly looked through a book. He made a phone call. He put the phone down and said, I think you need to go to hospital. I think you have Guillain-Barré syndrome. Now where he pulled that from, to this day I do not know. Whether he'd been sitting on the shitter at lunchtime reading a medical manual and read an article about it, or I just don't know. You have Guillain-Barré syndrome. Make your way to hospital now. Don't need an ambulance, but go now. I've rung the hospital and they're expecting you. Don't drive. Have you got someone to take you? Of course. I've got my lovely Nui. So she took me. We get there. On arrival at hospital, still feeling well. I didn't feel ill at all. I felt as fit as I do now. But things were slowly shutting down. And within a few minutes of hospital, I was finding I couldn't walk. My legs stopped working. So I was then in a wheelchair, Nui pushing me around from department to department, bless her. I was admitted onto the neurology ward. At first they didn't know whether I was having a stroke. Excuse the noise of the wind, but very nasty weather going on out here. And they carried out tests. By the time I'd been in bed on the ward for maybe 30 minutes, all I could do was blink. Couldn't shake my head like that. Couldn't lift my arms, couldn't move my arms, couldn't move anything. But I was great at blinking. That's all I could do. It was quickly established, or the decision was made, that this doctor was correct in the diagnosis. Although 100% diagnosis is normally achieved by a lumbar puncture, where they take fluid from your spine, and a very high-tech electronic sensor device test, which they could not arrange. I did get the test, but not for some time. But nevertheless, they took the right decision that it was Guillain-Barré syndrome and started the treatment pretty quickly. Now I can hear you all saying, Guillain-Barré syndrome, what the is that? And me too, and all my friends and family. But of course, we then find out. And it's a viral infection. They're not sure where it comes from. Some people say stagnant water, airborne. But what it does do is attacks your nervous system. And it shuts your body down, bit by bit, organ by organ. Every hour I was having to do breathing lung function tests, because they say the danger is that it shuts your lungs down. I think it was killing 1 in every 7 people diagnosed with it, and your body starts to fail very quickly. It also stops and wipes out completely your immune system, so you're susceptible to everything and anything. So Adi Cap, good morning mate, how are you? Tabadi Makap. And it shuts your body down. Not good. So there was me blinking good at blinking. I started the treatment, and the treatment was to, I think I had 7 nights. Why nights, I'm not sure, but 7 nights on a drip, consecutive nights on a drip. And it was a drip of human immune globulin, basically trying to kickstart your immune system again. Having read about the disease, and I'm sure a lot of you are going to look at it after this, I've quickly found out that quick diagnosis is the key. Many people that had a full day, 48 hours before diagnosis, too late, too slow, the damage is done. Many die from it. If you don't die, many are confined to wheelchairs for the rest of their life because these functions don't come back. I count myself real lucky. They got onto it straight away. Well, as lucky as you could be when you can only blink. So I was being fed, I couldn't move, and it took quite a long time before, very slowly, with massive efforts, I could slowly start to move an arm a little bit. It was quite a couple of weeks before I could walk, and even then in hospital, when I could walk a little bit, it used to seem to take me about half an hour to get to the bathroom. An hour and a half in there, that's how long it took to go to the toilet, clean my teeth and have a watch. Wiped out for 12 hours after that. So very debilitating condition indeed. A few humorous moments. I suppose you, oops, sorry, nearly knocked the stand off the table. I slowly be able to use my arms again, but with difficulty. So then lunchtime they bring me a yogurt and a spoon. Just put it in front of me with the top on. What the you want me to do with that? How am I supposed to get the lid off? Impossible. Ring the bell. When I started to feed myself, oh, the storm's coming in. Started to feed myself after a while. No strength in the arms, and the effort involved was horrendous. It used to take me ages to get a spoonful of peas and a bit of gravy, and by the time, the closer I got it to my mouth, the more the effort, the more the shake. By the time I got the spoon to my mouth, feck all left on the spoon, it was all on the floor. But anyway, I slowly got stronger. I did have the lumbar puncture test, I did have the electronic tests, and it confirmed Guillain-Barré syndrome. I came home, they told me it would take a long time and I would need a lot of rest. So I'm saying to the doctor, yeah, well, should I take 2 weeks off? He went, you won't be doing anything for 6 months. I've never not done anything for 6 months. But you know, he was right. It took 6 months easy for me to get strength back. I got the strength of the inside of a grape for many months. The smallest of movements, action, walks, wiped me out. But I consider myself one of the lucky ones. I did get over it, thankfully. Thank you to that duty doctor. Wow, what a meet, what a chance meet that was with him. Very good. I even think I dropped him a really nice bottle of wine in when I was fully recovered. So I did have to go back to see my specialist, ambulance. Not going to sell many ice creams at that speed, is he? I did have to go back and see my specialist. 6 months, 1 year, and I did ask him, and he gave me some strength tests when I met him after 6 months, and he said squeeze my hands, squeeze my fingers, push my palm, see if you can push me away. So I pushed him away, and he was on a wheelie chair in his office, and I sent him sailing across the office, and he said, wow, that's much better than when I first met you. So that was good. I asked him a little bit about it, and he said I was lucky. He said I was very lucky. That A, I got the diagnosis quick, and B, I responded to the treatment quick. Things like that make you take a check on your life. 1 minute you're fit, healthy, strong. All of a sudden, you're still feeling well, but all you can do is blink. Very, very scary. And I don't mind admitting I was scared and worried, as was my family. Anyway, when I went back to see him and asked him all about it, he said, very difficult to know where it comes from. Some people say stagnant water, it's an airborne virus. He says it's just a bit of luck, of bad luck. I asked him about the reoccurrence, what the chances of it reoccurring. He said if you make it to 1 year with no further symptoms, it's unlikely that you're going to get it again. If you make it to 2 years without any reoccurring symptoms, almost you're not going to get it again. Well, we're now in 2023 and this was 2016, and I'm glad to report I've not had any reoccurring bouts of it, thankfully. Although, just one thing, even to this day, and it's just something that's going to stay with me, the very tips of my fingers and the very, very tips of my toes still dead, still numb, and that's from that. So, yet another story with a happy ending. And I'm in Thailand, so always good to have a happy ending. Guillain-Barré, when you look at it, it was found by 2 doctors, somebody Guillain and somebody Barry. Surprise, surprise, eh? And I think it was way back in the First World War, and it was discovered in troops and soldiers serving in the war that had been stuck in waterlogged trenches of stagnant water. So maybe that's where their theory of that comes from, I don't know. But Guillain-Barré syndrome, not nice, not good, but it makes you realise that life is very valuable. It can be taken away if you like that, if you're unlucky. I was supported well by my beautiful wife Nui and all of my fantastic family and friends. One more little note I've got to chuck in. When I was in hospital and all I could do was blink, it was coming up towards Christmas time, and guess what? My bandmates came in from Stone Cold Soberish. Other bands are available, and they came in bearing gifts for me. A guy lying there can only blink. What did they bring me? They brought me a whole pineapple, a coconut, and a branch of Brussels sprouts. Thanks, guys. Did make me smile. Well, made me blink. Don't forget, if you've had any experience with this or know anybody that has, or any questions about it, ask me the questions or let me know. Let's have a discussion. I'm going to go now before this rain blows my camera over. It's not getting any better, I'll show you. Bit of a wet all day here. It's going to remain so all day. So thank you very much again to all the new subscribers. If you're not already subscribed, you know what to do. Subscribe, like, share, tell all your friends. Leave some comments in the comment box. And I'll see you next time. Hopefully, the sun may be shining. Bye for now.